And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Tuesday. Yes, I know. Where were you yesterday, Pascal? I'll explain all of that a little bit later. But I am very, very happy to be back today. It is going to be a spotty week. I'll just say that as well. I'll explain here in a little bit as well. But it does feel really nice to be back in the game, back here chopping it up with you guys. It has been a long weekend. I'll just say that it was a very, very long weekend, and I personally needed yesterday to just take some time off, to breathe, rest my bones, and just kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? So there are some things I want to be addressing here in a little bit in regards to what happened over this past weekend and everything. It's been, like I said, a very crazy one. But I'm very happy to be back here today. I'm still shaking off the tired vibes, the tired energy. But but it feels good to get back here doing the show and all that. And there's a lot. 5K, I appreciate you saying the mental game is important, and I do appreciate, like everybody, I appreciate all y'all understanding. It has been a very crazy. It's been very crazy. Last week was very, very crazy. Long story short. Which, like I said, I'll explain here in a little bit. But before we go into that, David is in the house. What's a guan, bruh?
Hey man, everything's good. It's good to be back in chat or be back in the video for a bit.
Yeah.
How's your Easter? Did it go well?
Easter was good, man. Like I said, it was a very busy one. It was a very busy one. Because I had my whole entire family with me in town. And so I hosted the party at my home. So I had to make sure everything was on point. I had catering. I had a DJ. It was all out on my patio because I got a really, really gigantic patio. So I had this, I basically housed this party, and it was really great. It was a really, really great time. Lots of work, but very, very dope.
Sounds like you had a fun weekend at least.
Yeah,
mine was just mostly cleaning up the yard and stuff. Just have to. I already told you this, but we got the local area's got the trash pickup coming soon. Not trash, but they call it spring cleaning. So you can just pile stuff out there, and you'll see people have huge mountains of trash and branches and all that. And I have about 6 feet of branches and cut down trees I need to take out, because unfortunately, the guy that I rented to back out to did not cut down the trees that were growing in his area like he was supposed to. So now I have to go saw. There's still 2 I have to saw down because he didn't cut them down like he was supposed to.
Man, well, the things you got to do. The things you got to do. I mean, homeowner, you got to. There's always something you got to clean up. You know what I'm saying? There's always something you got to do. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, it was like it was one of those things. Like me and my girl, we ended up. It was almost like we did spring cleaning and was cleaning, we did like a deep clean of our entire place. And it was like throwing out everything. You know what I'm saying? It was like I said, it was like a spring cleaning, except setting up for a big ass party. You know what I'm saying? Which was cool, like I said. But it was just a lot of work. It was a lot of days just hammering away, one room at a time. We would, knock out one room to the other one. You know what I mean? It was just like one big, huge, deep clean. Like I said, there was going to be a bunch of kids. We did an Easter egg hunt, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty amazing. Long story short. But then something else happened that was pretty big deal. I proposed. And she said yes. So I am now engaged. To be married, everybody. So for those y'all,
man.
Thank you. So ladies, for all y'all, because I know the ladies in the chat were giving me hell about like, when are you gonna put a ring on it and everything. Well, I did on Easter Sunday. So that was the other reason why I was so busy. Yeah. That's the other reason why I said to everybody, this weekend's going to be crazy, and why I was so what's the word? Overworked. There we go. Because I was prepping for like this huge event. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm off the market now. But yeah, I'm very excited. She said yes. She should have. You know what I'm saying? She better have. Yeah, it was crazy. So then the next day when I woke up on Monday, I literally couldn't get I couldn't move. My body was so sore. You know what I'm saying? Because of all this, just the nonstop week of throwing things away, cleaning things up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it was pretty crazy. So for those of y'all who are sitting there going, well, why was he taking, there was a evening show I took off, et cetera. It was because I was putting together this entire event by myself as far as planning and everything. She helped me, set the things up and everything, but she didn't know. She had no clue what was going on. So, it was a lot of prepping and, getting the catering, getting the DJ, just getting everybody to know, get everybody in on the joke. You know what I mean? Getting them in on the plan and all that. And that just took up a lot of time, So that's why last week was very hit or miss with me on pop-up videos and just work in general, because I was just so busy. I was busy putting this thing together. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes those life moments are more important than the news. No offense, but so I had to do that and just do what I had to do. How did I propose? I mean, the old-fashioned way. I got down on one knee and I said, "Will you marry me?" It was as simple as that. She had no clue. She had no earthly clue, which was dope. She had seriously, she had no clue, which was amazing. There was one moment she said there was one moment where I thought, but then I threw it away because she said every single time that I throw a party, like every single time I put together a party for my family and everything, she thinks that's going to be the moment I'm going to propose. But she always throws that idea out the window. You know what I'm saying? So she gave up. We've been together for a while. So she gave up. And then, yeah, she was just like, what the heck is, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? So,
it's good to wait. Got to make sure you have stability and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we were together for a long time, or we've been together for a long time. So it was about that time. Well, so funny thing, I know. We're not talking about the news. I promise you, we're gonna go straight from proposals to strippers. Beautiful segue. But but the thing is that what was I gonna say? Damn it! I hate when that happens. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, no, I forgot what. Damn, I hate when that's been. See, this is called sleep depravity. This is what happens when sleep deprivation kicks in. You lose your train of thought. But anyway, long story short, she had no idea. She had no clue. We've been together for a very, very long time, and it was just about that time. This is what I was going to say. I had planned on doing it last year, but COVID happened, and I had no idea where we were going to go. I had no idea where the world was going. I had no idea what was going to happen. So I just said, I'm going to hold out. You know what I mean? I'm going to hold out. Lady Justice, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Congrats. So happy for you, Pascal. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. So, yes. So long story short, that's just some breaking news in my own personal life. I'm getting married. I don't think I've ever said, I never thought I'd ever say that before, but that's a real thing. So I'm very, very excited. You and the four kids.
It's probably better to
Exactly.
have a wedding this year than last year, so you won't be like attacked as a super spreader or anything.
That's the other thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nana, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Love the emoji. But yeah, real talk. There it is. There it is. So good morning, Cherise. Good morning, Siri. Just don't make it everyone wait 10 years for the wedding. No. So Siri, just so you know, I think the wedding's going to be pretty soon. Well, I'm not saying soon, like in the next 2 months or something like that, but like, I think it's going to be within this year. So, because we just want to get it over with first off. Second, we just don't, life is weird, man. Life is weird. So we're just kind of like, well, let's get it done sooner the better. I don't want to wait a year just to get married. I think we're looking at like maybe I don't know. There's a lot of options out there. Maybe destination wedding. We don't know. I don't know. We're still thinking about it. Obviously, I proposed to her freaking 48 hours ago, less than 48 hours ago. So we'll see. We'll see. Today I hear a lot of women crying because Pascal got engaged. Oh, well, no, I appreciate that. But I know a lot of y'all, a lot of the lady listeners, all the women were sitting there going, when are you going to propose? When are y'all getting married? So I'm like, all right, I got married. I'm going to get married. See? But it was very simple, just so you know. I mean, I had the DJ. I went over there. I, grabbed the microphone. I said thank you to everybody who was there. I had her come up because I was like, hey, why don't you come up and say thank you to everybody for being here? And then she came up. She did it, she said thank you everyone for being here. And then I turned around and I proposed. I mean, it's kind of a big blur. I have video. I have plenty of video.
Is your mom excited?
My mom was excited. My sisters were like, everybody, the siblings, everybody. There wasn't a dry eye in the patio. There you go. Yes, her family was there too. Most of her family. Not everybody could make it because they had other plans. Easter, a lot of people had other things to do already planned out. But yeah. So there you go. There it is.
Just don't have a Paul Pierce style, bachelor party.
That's exactly what I was going to say. What's funny is that we got to jump into this story. Speaking of weddings, might as well talk about strippers, the scribbles. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with scribbles. They got to work too. Everybody got to make money. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with them making their monies. But ESPN's Paul Pierce, or ESPN has fired NBA analyst Paul Pierce after he posted a bunch of videos, a live video of him smoking a blunt surrounded by a bunch of scribbles. Oh, God, this is too good. And a lot of people are very angry about this story, about this news. I mean, he ain't paying no mind about it. It seems like he's just doing just fine about it. But yes, he had half naked women twerking in the background, whilst smoking a blunt. Yes, Paul Pierce has been fired by ESPN. And we want to know why. Anyway, so he's been fired from by ESPN after he posted an Instagram live video of himself surrounded by scantily clad women, seemingly smoking a joint. See, a joint? Nah, that's a blunt. Do you see that? You see that right there? Right there. That's a blunt, y'all. That be a blunt. That's the bluntest of blunts. Okay? All right. So, Pierce, 43. I love how they try to tell you his age. It doesn't matter. He was still acting like a child. So, anyway, a married father of 3 tweeted on Monday, "I can't lose. Even when I lose, I'm winning." Yeah. The news of his firing was first reported on Bear Sports Media. So look, you know, he's getting a haircut whilst smoking weed and being entertained by dancers is exactly what I needed to start my Saturday morning. Bruh, like why? Like, look at this. Straight up. He is having the time of his life whilst getting a haircut and smoking a blunt. What kind of barbershop is this though? You see what I'm saying? What kind of barbershop invites strippers into the barbershop and then also allows wacky tobacco? That's what I want to know. This is the kind of barbershop I've been looking for all my damn life. So where has it been? And why hasn't anybody in my neighborhood come up with this idea? That's what I want to know. Scrippers.
I mean, I guess it's one of those high-tier barbershops, I guess.
Yeah, Zozo Bob said, looks like a rap video set. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Those video vixens. You want to see the video? Let's take a look at the video. Hold up. I got to turn this down just in case it's too loud.
At 4Ocean, we understand
let's not forget the commercials. But while we're going through this commercial crap, boom. This is really real. He is high. Look at, he is high as hell.
What are you doing? Let me see you say. Hey, what's going on? What are you?
Okay, first off, I want to point something out here. I'd like to point something out here. First off, oh, come on. Come on. Hold on, guys. There's something I want to point out here. In his defense, none of the strippers are touching him. In this video, at least, none of the strippers are touching him. He's videotaping it, but none of the strippers are touching him. He might be smoking blunts, but none of the strippers are touching his ass. Just saying. I know I sound like I'm him trying to explain this to his wife after he gets caught. Why were you out here with these strippers and stuff? I didn't do nothing, girl. I smoked some weed and none of the strippers touched me. I repeat, none of the strippers touched me, and I didn't touch none of the strippers. Just saying. Chuck Diesel just said, clout chasing is ruining lives. Facts. Everything isn't meant to be posted on social media. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Now, my question to everybody, let me just throw this question out here real quick. My question to everybody is, does this garner him getting terminated from ESPN? That's the question I want to throw out to everybody. What were you going to say, David? I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw out that question.
I'm sending you a video right now. He actually.
Oh, wait, there's another
Twitter
one?
feed. Yeah, he is getting like a massage in that one.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. That just totally destroys that destroyed my the defense rests. So hold on. We asked for a recess, Your Honor. This is yeah, send it to me, please, because now we need to look at it more. Now we need to dive in. What?
I just sent it over Twitter.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Now I gotta take your face off the damn thing again. Damn it. No. So, but David, what are your thoughts on this, real quick? Because I'm gonna be pulling up more. We're gonna be pulling up more, y'all. But like I said, I stand corrected. It looks like he is getting a massage from a stripper. But, and I'll show it to you guys here in a second. It's just so bad. It is just so, look. Just, there it is. In all of its glory. Here we go. Let me kill the music. Okay. So that's how you twerk, everybody. Just so you know, in the background, what is he saying?
Monica, what you doing? What's the problem? Monica, you should be here. You can make some money, girl. Stop playing.
Do you hear that? He is calling out the people that are watching his stuff, his live feed, and he says, hey, Monica, you can come over here. Why don't you come on over here? Why don't you come over here? You could be making money right now, girl. Ain't he married?
Yeah, I got married in 2010.
And he married. Hold on. He got kids. He got a wifey. Okay, hold up.
Monica, what you doing?
You guys throw some fucking chips, man.
If you in LA, come through.
Look down.
If you in LA, Monica, come through. You know what I'm saying?
Where's she at? Down there. Paying fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, can't even throw a fucking chip. Wait up. I can't see.
Okay, that's enough. We get it. Scrippers being scrippers. Let me just say that. Scrippers being scrippers. So they're doing their job. Congratulations. They're doing their job. Now, I'm not defending any of this ish, but I want to know, to everybody out there that's watching right now, that's listening, ESPN, should he have been fired or no? That's what I'd like to know. Should he have been fired for this? Now, I think Lady Justice said something. Let me just read that because it just disappeared on me. You know, people are coming in and saying their stuff, and it's lovely. And thank you for all the comments that are coming through. Good morning to all 75 of you that have filled in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot. But she said, no, we need to stop firing people for their personal lives or things they do or say that are not harmful to others. This cancel culture and firing is too much. Okay, that's one. That's one thought.
I agree with her for the most part.
I'm not going to respond yet. I'm not going to respond myself yet. I'm not going to. That doesn't mean I agree or disagree. I'm just saying I'm not going to respond to it yet. But and exactly, Zozo Bob. This is exactly what kind of bachelor party I want. I want a haircut, scrippers on the ground, and a fat ass blunt. That's all I need. Yeah, a haircut, a blunt, and some scrippers. Yeah.
I don't know how I'm spending my afternoon.
Break out the one.
But anyway, as far as him getting fired, it seems ridiculous to me. What he did isn't illegal, and he didn't do it on his job. So I don't even know why it's connected to his work. To be honest, I just don't think it should have any connection to his work. He didn't do anything illegal.
Okay.
We don't even know if he, you know, his wife might have even be okay with this. I mean, one thing if she has a problem with it. But if anyone else has a problem with it, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, at least to me. Because he's just chilling. I mean, if he's not cheating on her, or rather, if she's okay with what he's doing, it doesn't really matter as far as anyone else should be concerned, I think. And, you know, people are okay with that. I mean, I've had girlfriends before that wanted to go to strip clubs with me. Some girls just like that kind of thing.
Hey.
And they find it sexy, I guess. So it might not even be something she has a problem with, you know. But when it comes to him getting fired, it makes no sense. I don't know why he was fired. It's not connected to his work, and it's not even the kind of behavior that would be unexpected from a superstar sports player. Let's be honest. This is kind of thing you would expect from most of them, married or not, because they have that money and they have all those women that want to be there.
They got the power and the clothes and the fame and the money and all that stuff. So true. Okay. For those men out there that do enjoy strip clubs, and if you do find a girl that is cool with going to strip clubs with you, you hold on to them tight for life. Because it's not every day that you meet a girl who's cool with that kind of culture, with that world, okay, with that side of the world, and is willing to share that experience with you and does not pass judgment. But that's a whole other conversation in itself. And I'm not going to sit here and say that whether strip clubs and strippers are this, that, and the other. I'm not talking about that. You know what I mean? On some real stuff. Hey, if that's how you make your money, hey, do your thing. You know what I mean? Ain't no shame, lady. Do your thing. Just make sure you're ahead of the game. But I digress. When it comes to this, though, the ongoing question, the question that builds on top of what I just asked is, should someone get fired for posting on their own social medias? Now, I'm not talking hateful rhetoric. You wanted to incite violence on a specific group or a specific whatever. But you're sitting there chilling, hanging out with your boys, idiotically posting that ish on live. For what reason, I do not know. But you do it anyway. Does that automatically mean that you need to be fired for posting something that you put on Instagram? Now, he is in California. He is in LA. Recreational use of marijuana is legal. So, if he was drinking a beer or drinking a martini or having a shot of liquor, would this have changed the outcome of his termination? Would it automatically make him get fired? Or is it just the fact that there's strippers in the background? Now, don't get me wrong. I think what he did was stupid. He obviously was high as hell, and he decided to live stream a very personal moment that I feel like shouldn't be captured like that, especially when you work for a gigantic company like ESPN. If it was Disney, if it was NBC, if it was any of these other huge networks, they would sit there and say the same thing. He would still get fired. Whether I believe it's right or wrong, I mean, I don't think he should get fired because he wasn't doing anything illegal. Real talk, he wasn't doing anything illegal. It's on his own platform. It's on his own IG. His IG is his. It's not owned by ESPN. Unless it's some clause in his contract where they say you must abide by this particular image because you not only represent your own brand, but you also represent the ESPN brand. So if there's some clause in his contract where they're sitting there going, well, you got to be careful on what you say and how you do it on your platform because you are an extension of ESPN, then that's another conversation. But him just being an idiot, pulling out his phone and clout chasing for a second, being like, yeah, man, me and my boys are getting it in tonight. Should he get fired for that? That's just, I mean, there's so many other opportunities, there's so many other reasons to get fired. But this, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he should have been fired at all, especially since he wasn't tying himself to the NBA in those videos. Even if it's in his contract, I mean, this is one of those things where workplaces expect you to hold to a contract when you're not legally responsible to do so, since it's not necessarily related to any criminal law. A lot of people will not. I mean, I don't know. It's a morality clause in their contract or whatever, right? But I think we all understand that even when you sign away to a company, you're still a free person and you can do what you want. And I guess if they suspend him or whatever, that's up to them. But you can't expect people to just suddenly accept authoritarian, top to bottom rulership just because the company says it's okay in their hiring packet. It's still not okay. They're just the same as governments. I mean, hell, they're looking at giving them power of accounting now. So it's quite possible within the next year we'll have corporate towns again, because they're passing a bill that lets them own the area, run the schools, run all the local facilities. So we might see that again, where you literally are living in service to a corporation. And I can understand if they want to get rid of him because he violated something. But ultimately, I've seen so much worse for NBA players that still seem to be playing. And ultimately, it just has no connection to his work. I don't see why that matters so much to them. Morality clauses are usually just an attempt from the company to manage their own PR, but you're not obligated to do what your company says all the time just because they say that you can't have fun in your free time. That's not really how it works. They can tell you to do that, but I mean, that's just a form of tyranny. You have to do what you say because these are the people giving you money. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. That's why those contracts can't be held up in law. Like TOS, like terms of service, those aren't legally binding. They usually get thrown out if they're brought to court because they're not a legal document. They're basically just something the company is doing within itself. And I don't know exactly what the NBA clause. They do have a morality clause of some kind, but I just think it's ridiculous that people expect everyone to obey a corporation just because they're a corporation. And, this eventually leads you to the situation where people can't be free because there's no organization that allows them to do so while still doing the work that they want to do. And that's just not good. And it's not connected, especially in this area of cancel culture, I guess. You can't cancel people for not doing what a company wants them to do. That's just silly. And you should have loyalty to people, not to the corporations that are taking, in a lot of cases, I don't know about this guy in particular, taking advantage of the people. I mean, they still make a ton of money, but ultimately it just comes down to whatever your job wants you to do. You're still yourself, and in your free time, you just do what you want, even if the company doesn't want you to, because corporations, at least for now, are not governments. They might be soon, and I would move away from those counties if they are, but they're not. And so this argument that it's their rules and they can get rid of people doesn't really flesh out with me. I mean, that's why unions came into existence. That's why workers' coalitions came into existence. That's why things like the Better Business Bureau came into existence, because companies were treating people unfairly and expecting them to always reflect the company instead of being a free person when they're not at work. And I really, really hope that we do not return to these corporate towns, but that seems like a big popular thing with Biden and some other congressional leaders right now. This is basically the same situation as that, where they become controllers of morality in your personal life at every facet of your day, just because they're the ones that are technically in control of you. But you have no obligation to listen to companies at all. And like I said, they can get rid of people if they want to. That's fine. But this idea that you should obey company laws and that if you don't, you should be canceled, that's just promoting a form of like oligarchical tyranny, really. Just saying that people who have the most money own what you can do and own what you can do in your free time. That's stupid, and that's not how it should work.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to a certain extent. Like, yes, whatever you post on your social media should be your business and your business alone. I mean, if that is your platform in which you can sit there and say whatever you want, how you want it, when you want it, etc., right? But you also got to remember, you're signing on to that company, right, to represent them, right? He had the free will to not post that anywhere. He could have FaceTimed a friend of his if he wanted to show it off. But he wanted his fans and his people to see how cool it was, whatever he was doing. You see what I'm saying? So there are possible kids who follow his social media too. And he's suddenly live showing strippers twerking. That might make people feel some type of way. That might come off as a bad look. Now, what he does on his own free time is his business and his business alone. I totally agree. But when you go live on a platform in which you probably have hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people that follow you, now you're making it a public thing. You know for a fact he wouldn't have been fired if he was smoking blunts, having strippers, and getting a haircut, if he was just chilling. And if he had kept his phone in his pocket. But what he did is that he showed off what actually happens in the champagne room. To a certain extent. And that's not a good idea. So, I'm with it on, hey, it's his platform. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It is his personal life. What he does on his personal time, as long as it's not hurting anybody, is fine. And exactly, Melanin 100%. He told on his own damn self. He outed himself. Now, the other part of it is that he didn't do anything illegal. He wasn't doing anything illegal. Unless there was something within the confines of the restrictions of COVID restrictions, which, by the way, they're starting to lift all this stuff in April 12th, 6 days from now. April 12th, they're opening a whole bunch of stuff in California. So it wasn't like he was breaking any rules on that too. So what do? David Diaz just said, you can't shelter your kids from real life all the time. If you're trying to do that, take away their social media machines. Eventually, you can see everything good and bad on social media. I mean, that's very, very true, right? But maybe that's what ESPN is saying. Like, oh, well, these kids who watch him as an NBA analyst on ESPN are now looking at him with a whole bunch of strippers smoking weed. We don't want to promote that kind of look. But the main mistake is when he hit live. That's where he made the mistake. Now, there are plenty of other places he can go and do his thing. It's not like he's not going to find a job. You see what I'm saying? There's plenty of other sport centric networks out there. If not on TV, on social media, on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, there are plenty of places where he can still. There's still places he can go and secure that bag. Absolutely. But at the same time, I mean, he made the mistake of pressing the live button, going live. He shouldn't have done that. Period. But like I said before, he wasn't doing anything illegal. He wasn't on the clock or anything of that sort. So I don't think he should have been fired. I really don't think he should have been fired, David. I really don't. But at the same time, he made the mistake of being a dumbass, trying to clout chase, and he hit that record button. He hit that live button, and he put his own ish on blast. That's on him. At the end of the day, that's on him. What were you going to say, David?
Yeah, I mean, I agree in that respect that, he made his own choices. And like I said, if the company has a morality clause and they get rid of him for it, that's fair. Yeah, like, this is just one of those strange situations where I don't see why people want corporations to have that kind of control over individual life, because just because they only limit it now to celebrity things doesn't mean that it's not going to be extended to other things, and in some ways it already is. Like I said, if it's in his contract when he signed it and joined, that's perfectly fair for them to fire him.
Yeah.
But they still shouldn't have, is what I mean. Is like, even if it's in his contract, they shouldn't have fired him.
Yeah.
Because this didn't harm anything.
Unless they really wanted him gone. Unless they already initially wanted his ass gone, which is a very good possibility as well. I just saw Black Lady Jane say that, and that's true. ESPN wanted him gone. They probably were trying to find something. And they found it, and they were just like, bet, bye.
I mean, haven't there been like NBA and NFL players that straight up cheated on their wives and nothing happens to them? I'm pretty sure that's true. At least.
Oh, there's plenty of stories like that.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that. I don't actively watch NBA or NFL, so I don't know, but I've heard stories plenty of times of this happening, and nothing ever came of it before. So like you said, yeah, it could be they're trying to get rid of him for some reason. I don't know. I don't know anything about him as far as playing sports goes, so it could be they just don't like him or something. But ultimately, I just think that, like I said, it has no reflection on his job, and you can't. Just because a company says that they can control your individual life doesn't mean that that should be accepted. I mean, because it's such a slippery slope, and that, I mean, we already see other companies that fire people because of whatever reason they feel like, and that's fine. But the more and more that gets extended, the more and more you don't have the ability to find a job where you're allowed to be free in your off time. Though I do agree it was very, very stupid of him to record this and put it up on social media. That's just one of those stupid things that people love to do right now. You shouldn't really be posting everything you do on social media, especially if it's something that other people aren't going to like. Just send the video to your friend or your wife if she liked it or whatever. You don't have to post this out there for everyone, because when you do, it's unfortunate, but people will try to cancel him if they don't like what he said, and they'll try to remove his career just because of that. So I don't know, it just seems like it's not equal either. Like, just because of all the other cases I've seen, the only times like they seem to make a big deal is when it's a huge crime like dog fighting or something. Anything else just gets swept under the rug, except for in this particular case. And I don't really know why he's different, but they are treating this differently. When I've seen, at least on the news, I've seen them talk about other cases that seemed worse to me, with actual adultery or actually harming people, and they're still allowed to play. So it's just a strange thing to me.
Yeah, like I said, it's to me, it's weird. But there must have been something deeper going on, for sure. There must have been something else going on besides just him going live with a bunch of strippers. And like these girls, it's not like they were butt naked. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think he wouldn't have been able to post any of that stuff if they were butt naked. But at the same time, it just wasn't a good look, period. And, Chuck Diesel said something a little bit ago, basically saying like he's under the scope of ESPN and they pay his bills. They give him money to not only be as ESPN as he can be on TV, but also be as the ESPN as he can be off camera as well. And that wasn't very ESPN. You see what I'm saying? It really was not. And I mean, it is what it is. But he ain't gonna pay no mind about it. I'm sure he's just like, damn, I just lost that bag. But he'll be fine. He'll do, like I said, he'll go off onto another channel, onto another network, or start his own social media platform or something. You know what I mean? Like he'll start his own channel, something. You know what I mean? That's basically it. Real talk. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I just think he had a very dumb high moment. In my personal opinion, I think he just had a really dumb high moment, and he was having a great time, and he was probably going, I'm finally with some friends, I'm finally with the boys, I can finally kick it, so on and so forth, and there it is. I think the worst of it is if his wife isn't cool with it. I think the worst of it is going to be him trying to explain all this stuff to his wife, just to be completely straight funky on you on that. But we got to get into this next story. I'm actually trying to get it here. Where the heck? Oh, I thought I had it. Here it is. We definitely have to go into this next story. This is a very sad one too. There was a family of 6 that were killed by 2 brothers. They decided to murder their entire family in a murder-suicide pact between the brothers. So, wow. This is just the title itself, and this is insane, but I'm just going to read the title. Dave has got the story, though. This one's really insane. It says, this is the title of what I'm reading, and sorry for all these pop-ups. This is annoying, but thanks for making thanks for making buying a gun so easy. Depressed Texas brothers 19 and 21 penned suicide note revealing how they lied to buy a gun and how the Office TV show went to ish before killing parents, sister, and grandmother, and then themselves. David, tell us the story, man.
All right. So originally, this was first brought to people's attention when Farhan Tawhid, he's a 19-year-old Texan, went to Instagram over the last weekend, and he started making claims. One of his posts were, "Hey everyone, I killed myself and my family," and so a family friend saw that letter. It was an 11-page letter, and called the police to request a welfare check. And so the police went by to their house in Allen, Texas, and once they went inside, they found 6 dead people, including Farhan Tawhid and his brother Tanvir Tawhid, who were the ones that created the suicide pact. They had all been shot to death, police said, by Farhan and Tanvir Tawhid as part of a suicide pact the pair had planned out for over a month. The Allen Police Department Sergeant John Felty told local news agencies that it looks like the 2 sons entered into an agreement that they were going to die by suicide and that they were going to take their family members with them. Police have not confirmed exactly when the deaths took place, but it's likely that the family was killed on Saturday and they just found them later after people pointed out the message. So it seems like the family was part of a large Bangladeshi community in the area. And Bangladesh is just east of India. And so they live in like I said, a Bangladeshi community in America. His parents were from Bangladesh. I believe both of the children came over very early, though, or were born in America. So a family friend, Saeed Chowdhury, said that we just cannot believe it happened to this family. They are a very loving family. We didn't see anything wrong with this family, any problems. And ultimately, this family first came. They lived in New York originally, but they moved to Texas, northern suburb of Dallas, because Tawhid, the father, worked in information technology, and that's pretty much where he took his job at. They also had the grandmother, Altafun, was living with him as well. And Farbin, which was the sister, just got a full scholarship to attend New York Anniversary before the suicide murder. And according to Farhan's notes on Instagram, he and his brother Tanvir struggled with mental illness for years. And he wrote that he suffered from depression since the 9th grade and had repeatedly harmed himself. He said his family had tried to help him, but he also said that his mental health issues had recently worsened. He had been studying computer science at University of Texas, but he was expelled from his dorm in the winter after telling a roommate he planned to kill his family. The police and FBI never got involved at any point during this. So once he moved back home, everyone began to describe him and his brother as depressed and socially anxious. They ultimately went to buy a pair of guns. They said that gun control in the U.S. is a joke because the pair lied when they were asked if they were suffering from mental illness. Police did not confirm how many guns were used in the shooting, adding that Tanvir was able to legally purchase a gun recently. It is unclear when the post was originally put up. It's since been taken down, though the police have it as evidence. And Felty went on to tell the local news agency, "We have never seen an incident like this in 21 years that I've been here. It's just a tragedy. There's no other way to describe it." And they said that none of the neighbors reported hearing gunshots and that the police received no reports of gunshots. And the family itself had never made any calls to the police beforehand. So right now, it seems like it's hit the Bangladeshi community pretty hard because the parents at least were involved with that community. And they came at some point in their lives over to America. So there's actually a Bangladeshi association in Texas, Bangladeshi Association of Northern Texas, sorry. And so they described it as being a horrific and shocking incident. And they said that today we received extremely sad news about the deaths of two of our former students, which is what the university released, saying, "This news is devastating to our university. We express our deepest sympathies to their extended family and friends." Other than that, they don't really know a whole lot of exactly what happened because they got called in and didn't see the bodies until a few days after the deaths, which makes it a little harder to see. But given the letters, they pretty much know that Tawhid and Tanvir murdered them parents and then committed suicide. And like I said, it's hitting the community in the area pretty hard. They all gathered for I don't know what they called it, but it was basically a wake, a little more cultural, but like Bangladeshi cultural, but it's basically similar to a wake that they all gathered for and spoke about the people that were shot, especially the parents, like I said, who were part of that community and part of the local education, Bangladeshi focused education and all of that. So, like I said, this is just a tragic incident. All the evidence we have comes from that 11-page letter, which is pretty much a manifesto stating why he was doing this, stating that gun control was weak and that's why he was able to get a weapon, and that they felt like excluded from society in a lot of places. And this led to them, in their opinion, this led to them being depressed and socially anxious. Like I said, people reported them as being. And ultimately, they committed this act over the weekend, and people found out a day or two later. And the really tragic thing is that there were strong signs of this throughout the time. I mean, including letters of intent to murder his family that were intercepted by multiple people. It's definitely something the FBI should have gotten involved in at that point. Especially since those messages were probably crossing state lines, and that would be a perfect case for the FBI to get involved and to try and protect his family from the two children, unfortunately. But that didn't happen, and now they're all dead. And there was just, obviously their own problems and the interactions they had were a huge part of this. But there's also this huge problem that we saw with another shooting where this person had a history of talking about killing people or violence and talking about getting ready to kill people. And this never gets, even if it does get reported, it just kind of gets swept under the rug until they commit the crime. And then depending on who it is, they might just get life in probation or they might get life in jail. So it's a huge problem that needs to be addressed, I think.
Seems like there was way too many red flags, way too many warning signs that happened way ahead of this. And it's funny because we talked about this on Speak On It Saturday, about just mental illness, mental health, mental wellness, and how that we all have breadcrumbs. You know, for those who suffer from mental illness, trying to find stability. And sometimes a lot of times there's a lot of people tend to reach out in social media and put those warning signs out there, basically saying, hey, it's like a cry for help. It's a full-on cry for help, right? And I feel like this is another situation where there were multiple signs and multiple cries for help where no one did anything about it. It just ended up turning into this situation. Then on top of that, you look at something like gun control and all the, like, of course, we've been talking about gun control like crazy as of late because of the mass shootings that have been happening countless times, right? Every week, it seems like there's another mass shooting, mass murder, the tragedy that happens on American soil. And then you get a story like this where they're like, oh, thank you so much. It was so easy to get a gun. They just simply ask you if you have any mental health issues, and all we did was lie. That's insane. And that's something that we need to really start looking into a lot more often. Why is it that we are going and just... Why are we going and not taking these people seriously when they say something out loud, when they put something out on social media, when they make it abundantly clear that they are looking for help, or saying or doing something that may seem out of the norm? You're going, wait a second. I remember you being another way. Why are you acting so different right now? Your posts have gotten strange. What you're saying to, here is getting crazy. Like those things are full on dead giveaways or dead signs of like, hey, this person needs some help. And I get it. Not everybody wants to make everybody's business their business, but at the same time, sometimes you got to, because something tragic like this happens. And I don't know what their upbringing's like. I don't know what their family life is like. And I can only imagine what that really is. But at the same time, you never know what is being seen at home may not be seen, or what's not being seen. The family might not know anything, but they're going to social media and posting all their stuff on social media. You see what I'm saying? They're the perfect kids when they're at home, but they're posting all this stuff. And, I'm sure these parents aren't sitting there watching their social media like crazy. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we do have to make people's business our business if it means that in the long run, no one dies. And then on top of that, just saying that this, in his 6-page suicide note, I mean, how he just talked about like getting guns and how it was easy. And I mean, it's a big wake up call. It's a big wake up call, period. But here's the thing, though. I mean, here's the other thing, though, too. Haven't we had a bunch of wake up calls over the past freaking month? Haven't we? If we're gonna do something about these gun laws and how people can get guns, etc., hasn't it been enough? Hasn't there been enough examples being thrown in our face almost every other week of mass shootings showing that we need to do something about these gun laws? About these gun control laws, that a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old that both have mental health issues, can easily go to a gun shop, buy a gun, and use it to murder their entire family and then turn those guns on themselves. Have we had enough warning signs, y'all? Like, haven't we? And that's the thing. This is why I get so angry and so annoyed, because everyone sits there and goes, well, my rights, my constitutional rights, you know, that's my First Amendment right. Or sorry, not my first, the Second Amendment, right? It's the second. Why am I having a brain fart? Second Amendment right, right? That's my Second Amendment right. You know what I mean? Second Amendment right. I got my right to bear arms. Okay, fine. But there's got to be something within that so we can be a little bit safer. And so that it's a little bit harder for people to obtain those said guns. That's it. We've already had so many red flags, man. And you know, from the photos, like let me pull up the photo of the family. Cuz there's a this is a family, y'all. This is a family right here.
Some people in chat are saying that it's easier to buy weed in some states than guns. That's very true. Or rather, it's harder to buy weed.
I was going to say, wait, isn't that supposed to be the thing?
Wrong. Yeah, I meant to say it's harder to buy weed than it is to buy a gun, at least in Colorado. Because to buy weed, you need to either be registered or you need to, like, especially if it's medical, you need to be registered. You have to go to a doctor, get it registered, go to a place where you then get registered, and they take on your everything there that you were allowed to grow. They take it over. Or even if you go in without, not medical, you go to just like recreational. You still need an ID, and you still need to be have a valid ID with nothing that pops up as a felony, because they do sometimes have that. Like if they do have a warrant check for people that are outside of state coming to buy marijuana, so it's much harder to buy weed than it is a gun. I've bought guns here, or just bought one gun here. It was an AR-15. All I did was just showed up, said I want that one, gave him money, and then I have to fill out the FBI background check, which is basically just your information. Mm-hmm. Other than that, that's it. Sign in the application and show him my ID, and then once the FBI finished the background check, you can just walk away with the gun. If it wasn't right now, if this was like 2 years ago, I would have been able to walk out with that AR-15 right away, just because the FBI is too backed up right now. That's why it's slower right now, not because of laws, but because the FBI is too backed up from so many people buying guns. But traditionally, even like 2 years ago, I could have bought that AR-15 and just left right away, because the FBI would have gotten the check within probably 10 to 15 minutes, and that's it. So you just go in, give an application and your ID, and then you leave. Whereas with like marijuana, especially medical, you have to go through all this registration with the state, with the local places. You have to have this agreement. Even if you get recreational, you have to have proof of who you are, and you need to, not only that, but they actually do, like I said, if you pop up as someone who has a warrant from another state, they're not going to let you in, because trafficking has been a problem in the past, so they keep an eye out for that now. It's much harder to buy weed than it is to buy a gun. And it's not that hard to buy weed, to be real. I mean, if you really want to, it's not hard, but it's still harder than buying a gun, and that's pretty crazy.
That is nuts, you know. And, this is some of the suicide letter right here. Hey, everyone, I killed myself and my family. I'm not going to, if I'm going to die, I might as well get some attention. I'm going to cover 4 very important issues I encountered throughout my life. Who knows? Some might get, some good might come of it. And then for those who don't know, I've had depression since 9th grade. That's 2016. Not damn, I failed my test. Depression, everyone says they have. More like I only cut myself twice a day. That's better than usual. Now, what's crazy, suicide letters are always weird to me. They're always, suicide letters are always scary and weird to me, because it's always that moment of, that could have been an opportunity to stop that person. Like, if only that letter had come out before the act, right? If only that was found before the act actually went down, then maybe those people would have been obviously things would have been approached and people would have taken care of those kids. But they weren't taken care of. And it's unfortunate. And it is so strange that it's so hard to get a little bag of weed, right? But it's so easy to stumble upon a gun. And how quickly they're like, hey, here you go. This is what you need. This is what you got, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. I'm not sitting here saying take away our guns. I'm just saying that there needs to be more restrictions. There needs to be more than that. I just don't get why that there hasn't been something done sooner so that it can be harder for us, regular people, to obtain a gun. That's how it should be. That's what I think. These gun laws are, I mean, let's just be real. The gun laws aren't going to be changing anytime soon. All we can do for right now is look to our kids, look to the people that we love, listen to them when they're speaking, especially if they're putting something out there on social media, which it seems like they were putting, like these kids were putting things out on social media. There were already stories of them showing paranoia, extreme paranoia. Those things should be taken seriously. Those things should be taken into, those things should be taken seriously, But then again, we also do live in a world where it's a cultural thing too. Maybe they pulled up all those things. Family was brought to their family's attention. But then the family maybe didn't do anything about it because maybe culturally, from the country they come from, mental health is a sign of weakness. That could be it too.
And there's honor killings are kind of, relatively speaking, common in Bangladesh compared to like the West. So it's possible that could have been related if he. We don't know what religion they were. At least they didn't say it. But regardless of that, there is just the cultural pressure. I mean, most people see it as wrong, of course, but it still happens. You see in bigger countries like India, where the government doesn't necessarily have control over every small county directly. You see these things happen. So it is possible that that's related to this, because I think there's something like 10,000 honor killings per year, probably more. Let me see. Let's see. India has 1,000 per year. I don't see a number for Bangladesh. So, but Bangladesh is close, similar culture to some Indians. This definitely could have been a honor killing as well. It's hard to say. Like someone else said in chat, they could put out this manifesto to kind of just make their point instead of being a legitimate declaration of why they're doing what they're doing.
Right.
So I mean, that's a possible. Obviously, they were mentally. I mean, even if you don't want to chalk it up to mental health, killing people is crazy like that. So they're obviously not right in the head in some way. And this is just a huge tragedy, and it's really frustrating because it could have been prevented since they literally kept telling people. It's the same thing as like people putting out like threatening suicide, and then except everyone just ignores them and walks away, and then they're surprised when they commit suicide. No, I mean, this is what you expect. If someone says they're going to kill a bunch of people and you don't do anything to change that, they're probably going to kill a bunch of people, and you should probably say something to someone that will try to stop that. Whether it's mental health or not. Like I said, their letter could just be more of an excuse. It might not even be related to mental health. We don't know exactly, what's going on here. Because I mean, we have his letter. They haven't released the entire thing yet, unfortunately. At least as far as I've seen, they might have done it today. But as I saw it last night, there wasn't a full release of it. So
it's insane.
It's hard to be entirely clear. Yeah,
it's insane. But then also on top of that, it makes you wonder. And this is okay. This is me. Okay. This is me being crazy. All right. This is me being crazy. So just roll with me on my craziness. Okay. But who's to say that this wasn't written later? After the shooting, who's to say that this wasn't made? Who says this wasn't made after? I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds really, really crazy. But I'm going to throw that crazy theory out there. Suddenly this letter, this 6-page letter comes out. Here it is. Oh, it was so easy for us to do this, this, and this. We were able to go in. All we had to say, sit there and do was lie. You know, blah, blah, blah. Then on top of it, this ain't a white family. It's a brown family. All of them killed. Then on top of it, those 2 kids easily were able to go in and do what they needed to do. I'm just saying, like, I'm not sitting here saying that they didn't do it. I'm sure they did that. But it does seem like there is that weird feeling of fabrication in there. That's all I'm saying. Just feel like it feels a little bit of fabrication going on. But like I said, that is me saying something crazy. That's me saying something crazy. Really left field. But hey, I'm going to say it now just so we can exercise that thought. This seems very strange. And then there's suddenly this 6-page manifesto of, hey, this is all the things that we did, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Just saying. What if it was a thing of, hey, if we had it be a family of 6 and it was a white family, would it have the same lasting impression if it was a family of color? Like I said, crazy idea, crazy thought, but maybe. Just maybe. And they all died in the name of gun control or something crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Mark Jones just said, I saw that theory earlier in the chat. Oh, I didn't see it. I must have missed it. But yeah. It's just interesting. So, or it could have been just a full-on fabricated 6-page manifesto of them just going, well, before we die, before I do this heinous act, let me throw this out here so that maybe it can make people want to rethink what gun control is and how easily it is to obtain a gun, so on and so forth. We make this craziness now, people will listen. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, crazy theory, but we're going to roll with it. We're just going to roll with it. It's still a terrible story hearing a family of 6 die at the hands of their own children. Then at the same time, it's like there is a lot of heads up on mental health, mental wellness, etc. We all need to start listening to each other again. And I keep saying that. I was saying that on Saturday as well on the Speak On It show. We all need to start listening to each other because a lot of us are giving each other warning signs. We're giving everyone our warning signs. If we are out here upset, depressed, battling whatever's going on internally, a lot of us are putting out those warning signs, especially out on social media, because they're hoping that, because, hey, I've already tried to talk to my siblings and they're not listening to me. I've already tried to talk to my parents and they're not listening to me. Maybe my friends on social media will understand. And then they say something in hopes that that special person's going to read that comment and call. Like I said, we need to start listening to each other again, guys, because this is getting old. And maybe I'm that guy who's just, you know, that broken record and all that. But at the same time, like, we got to start doing something, and something very, very soon. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Minneapolis Police Department's police chief testifying yesterday. He dropped some serious bombs, and we're going to be talking about that here very shortly. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and sticking around, being a part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go crush that subscribe button. I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I also do an evening show Tuesdays through Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. tonight, but there will not be a members-only show this Wednesday. I actually have a funeral to go to, unfortunately, Wednesday afternoon. So I just wanted to give you guys a fair heads up. I'm going to have to move the membership show to another day because yeah, it's unfortunately we gotta say goodbye to a friend of ours. But we got to jump into this. So be sure to crush that like button, hit that like button, send it all the way up, and don't forget to join the chat. That would be really, really great. Anyway, we got to jump into this next story now. This is something that I feel that we all should see. This is something that happened yesterday. The chief of the Minneapolis police was brought in to be questioned during the Derek Chauvin trial, and he had a lot to say. But there's this video or this news clip that I think that we should all take a listen or take a watch and see what he had to say. Let's take a look.
Testimony today at Derek Chauvin's murder trial. The Minneapolis police chief told the jury that Chauvin violated his training by pinning his knee on George Floyd's neck while Floyd was handcuffed and lying on his stomach. CBS's Jamie Yukas is following the trial.
Astonishing testimony from Minneapolis's top cop.
When I look at Exhibit 17, and when I look at the facial expression of Mr. Floyd, that does not appear in any way, shape, or form that is light to moderate pressure.
Chief Madera Arredondo, the first black person to lead that city's police force, tearing down the blue wall of silence and condemning Derek Chauvin's use of force on George Floyd.
To continue to apply that level of force to a person proned out, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy, it is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Arredondo says his officers are required to know department policies, including the use of de-escalation techniques, which he did not see in the videos.
That action is not de-escalation. That action goes contrary to what we're taught.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman.
What are the implications?
By the way, bombshell. Well, let's finish it. Let's finish this. But bombshell.
For a juror when they see the chief of police testifying against someone who used to be an employee.
It cannot possibly be underestimated what influence a chief of police would have on a juror. A juror is a citizen of this county, and they look to this police chief as the person who has the aura of authority.
Arredondo, seen here kneeling in front of Floyd's hearse, fired Chauvin and the 3 other officers who were at the scene.
Damn right.
He later released this statement saying, quote, Mr. George Floyd's tragic death was not due to a lack of training. The training was there. He goes on to say that what happened to Mr. Floyd was murder. Earlier, Bradford Langenfeld, the doctor who pronounced Floyd dead at the hospital, took the stand. He says Floyd's cardiac arrest was most likely due to a lack of oxygen.
At the time, based on the information I had, it was more likely than the other possibilities.
And doctor, is there another name for death by oxygen deficiency?
Asphyxia is a commonly understood term.
Defense attorney Eric Nelson took more than an hour to try and pick apart the chief's testimony, showing at the time of the incident it was not against policy to use a knee on the neck as a use of restraint. Nora?
Jamie Yukas, thank you.
Interesting, right? Very, very interesting. This thing's tripping, sorry. Very interesting. So, David, you were going to say something. I just wanted to get that clip done first.
Yeah, there's so you kind of touched on a few things I mentioned before that I just wanted to bring up again. Basically,
sure.
They changed their chokehold rules about 10 to 15 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like we talked about this a little before. And originally, Chauvin was trained under the rules of the old chokehold rules, where they had like lethal and non-lethal forms of chokehold, which were very poorly categorized. They updated them though about 10 years ago, something like that. So I mean, it's been the rule, the way he did it has been obsolete for over a decade. He would have had training since then showing him that it's no longer the standard. I mean, it's been out of the standards for a long time, and they still occasionally receive training, and I think they said every other year. And mostly the one thing I'm glad that the chief really pointed this out. Is the one thing I kept talking about is he's putting all of his weight on George Floyd's neck and spine. Like, he's not just putting a little bit like in a chokehold like you're supposed to. He's putting his entire body weight on that guy's neck and spine. And it's good that someone like the chief in particular of the police for the area recognized that, because a lot of people kept claiming that, he wasn't putting that much pressure, so he died from his heart attack or whatever. But no, you can look at it. The guy's got all of his weight stacked right on his knee, digging right into his neck. So I'm glad the chief said that, because a lot of people weren't listening to that before.
No. Yep.
But now that the actual police have said it, I think maybe they will.
You know what's really funny to me is that I'm trying to find this, but Steven Crowder, right, did a video where he was literally going. He has a guy dressed up like a cop, and has his knee on his neck like he was George Floyd, like he was basically mocking George Floyd's death, right? And he's talking while he has the guy's knee on his neck. And he's like, see, I can move around. I can talk and all that. The guy is putting his weight on me, and I could do all this stuff. I'm doing just fine. I didn't get choked. I'm not getting choked out. So there are people out here that actually do truly believe that Derek Chauvin didn't do anything wrong, when he clearly did. Clearly, this man was doing something wrong. And he's sitting there trying to make fun of what happened to George Floyd. The fact that we're even having a conversation like this it still blows my mind. The fact that we're even having this convo, is still does not make sense to me. The man put his knee on that guy's neck. You heard it from the doctor himself, that said, hey, he died from asphyxia. What other ways do you need it to be explained? But there are people out here that will sit here diehard. And like, I'm trying to find the video of Steven Crowder with the knee on his neck thing. Because I want people to see I want y'all to see it with your own two eyes. Real talk. But he's sitting there going, oh yeah, I could move around, I could talk. I'm doing fine. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, three Lady Justice. I'm reading the Lady Justice's thing. 3 grown-ass men on him, and also being highly stressed and agitated makes it worse. Absolutely, Lady Justice. Absolutely. And that's why I'm trying to understand I don't understand why people, and Siri said something about it and just disappeared, because you guys are lovely and are chatting quickly, but stupidity is a bottomless pit. And that's absolutely facts right there too, Siri. There's so many people that are willing to deny the inevitable just so that it fits their own agenda, their own rhetoric. What this guy said, what that police chief said, is a bombshell. Bombshell. We had the other guy, the MMA fighter, talking about the blood choke, right? Bombshell. We had this chief come in and say, no, he did not use, like, yes, there was training in there, but there are other things that he did not, that aren't part of training protocol. He was doing something wrong. Bombshell. Then you got the physician coming in saying, no, he died from asphyxia. Bombshell. How many other things do we need for everything to be just pointing straight to guilty? And don't worry, there's going to be more. There's going to be more bombshells. For sure. More and more bombshells. The amazing Lucas did it. Okay. Hold on. I don't feel right using somebody else's stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. Let's see it. He really did do one. Son of a gun. All right. Maybe I can find the video. Maybe he has the video because I see the photo. Hold on, maybe the video's in here. Does he have any here? Like I said, I don't feel right. Where is it at? Come on, man. There it is. I found it. This is so stupid. Okay. All right. You need to see this for yourselves. Unfreaking believable. This is unbelievable. All right.
Up today, we're streaming from louderwithcrowder.com/live because I've been banned from YouTube, and this is the exact pose of Floyd and Chauvin. Look, no choke. We're going to run some experiments today that we can on YouTube. Taking advantage. No choke.
Now.
Yep. And that guy makes money. That guy actually has people who back him up. If people are willing to back him up, willing to pay for that kind of trash, then I should be a freaking billionaire right now. My God, I should be a billionaire. If the people are willing to pay for that type of trash, I should be a damn millionaire right now because I make trash like that too. But mine has value. You got to be kidding me. And that was, see, Vic Wicked, exactly. Wasn't even on his neck. Dude was like on the balls of his feet chilling. Yeah, that guy who was reenacting the moment. Real talk.
It's not really surprising to see it from Crowder of anyone. He doesn't really think through his skits very much or logic.
No, it's this logic in general. It's trash, man. It's absolute trash. But look, lo and behold, this is the world that we live in right now. A dude who just doesn't give, who thinks he's being funny for his far right conservative viewers. And to me, that's not funny. And you remember that, when that whole thing happened, when the whole George Floyd death happened, there were people on social media doing basically they were doing the George Floyd. A bunch of white people just doing the George Floyd because they thought it was funny. Like I said, this testimony that the chief just did is a bombshell. And there cannot be, to me, after seeing all these testimonies, all these people telling their side of the story, hearing from professionals, hearing from specialists, all that stuff, you cannot tell me, that there's a shred of doubt right now. You can't. The defense is not doing very good. from what I'm seeing so far. I was actually kind of nervous about the defense. And right now, the defense doesn't seem like they're doing anything at all. They're failing miserably. To me, it looks like that. But you never know. And here's the other thing, though, too. I'm going to be real. I wouldn't be surprised if we have guilty. There will definitely be rioting in the streets. And if they get not guilty, there'll be rioting in the streets. That's what I think.
I'm starting to think there's a good chance he'll be found guilty, to be honest, at this point, especially with his allies stepping in.
Everything's going to be, bruh. I mean, now you got chief of police coming in and going, no, what he did was wrong. What he did was beyond protocol, beyond training. No, he will be. I'm hoping that he's found guilty. But I'll say this, though. He gets found guilty, you're not going to see the streets quiet. The streets are going to be rioting. There's going to be rioting. There's going to be rioting regardless. If there's guilty or not guilty verdict, there will be rioting in the streets. One just will be much more great than the other. Does that make sense? One will be much more violent than the other. But I do think that there will be rioting in the streets if he is found either one. And I don't think, regardless, I agree. I actually do agree with conservative Republic right there. The riots need to get shut down. I do agree. Whether it's on them out there rejoicing because the good guy won finally, or they're out there angry as hell because of a not guilty verdict. Regardless, it should be shut down. Because I don't know how many times that city can go up in flames. But we'll see. I mean, shoot, man. And you're right, Siri. You're absolutely right, Siri. The world is watching. We are all watching this. And I think that the vast majority of us are all rooting for him to be found guilty. I'm hoping I'm wrong, though. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm hoping that I'm bloody, unbelievably 110% wrong, that he is found guilty, and there's nothing but just celebrating in the streets. Celebration. Not blowing anything up. No Molotov cocktails. Nothing crazy like that. Just people out in the streets rejoicing. Rejoicing. Like when Biden won, right? When the media said Biden won, everybody was out in the streets partying. There wasn't riots. Everyone was joining hands, excited. Right? Everyone was super happy. So, I'm hoping that we don't have any riots, regardless on either side of the verdict. I don't want to see the world go up in flames again. That was a terrifying time.
And especially the case in Minneapolis was really bad because a lot of the news was championing the riots there, but for the most part, it was people from out of state. Some of them in white supremacist gangs that were burning down the town, and the news kept championing them as doing it for George Floyd, which was really bad because obviously they weren't. They were targeting black businesses and such, and so yeah, I hope we don't go back to that. But it's really we just need to keep an eye out for these gangs more that were behind a lot of this in the first place, because it's still going to happen most likely. I don't remember all the groups. There was some trying to remember their names. I know there was at least one white supremacist motorcycle group there, and then at least the two other motorcycle groups that were all white but didn't at least say they were white supremacists. And the whole time the news was describing this as the local population raising up against the murder of George Floyd, but for the most part, there was outsiders coming to burn down the homes of the people that had just lost George Floyd. Mm-hmm. And like you didn't really get to hear that story until 6 years or 6 months later when people started more diving into it. You found bodies in businesses that were burned alive. Oh, one body, to be fair, that was burned in a business alive. So it's very possible we'll get to that situation again, regardless of if he's found guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. It could go either way. I think it would be best overall if he's found guilty. I think most of the people in Minneapolis would accept that, and so outsiders wouldn't have as much support if they came in to attack black neighborhoods again, which is pretty much what happened at the beginning of Minneapolis. And I kept talking about it a lot, but people were just kept saying that like that was just a far right talking point to detract from legitimate protest of George Floyd in the area, which could be part of that, but it's still the case that the news and a lot of people were saying that what was going on there was right, when basically what was going on there were outsiders attacking the people that lost George Floyd because they were fundamentally either white supremacist or allied with a white supremacist gang. And if that happens again, hopefully the news doesn't tell everyone they're doing a great job for liberalism. Hopefully they actually point out that they're white supremacists attacking this neighborhood. It's really bad, and I really don't want to see that again. But it's very possible we'll have the same situation where we'll have white supremacist gangs come there to protest and cause violence, and they'll get lumped in with like Antifa or BLM again. Even though they're considered an enemy by the news, they still seem to do that. That's what they did at the last George Floyd riots. That's why I think it took so long for people that were there to actually get help, because everyone was saying that it's good that this neighborhood's being burned down. It's good for those people, except it's people from other states that don't like those people that were coming there to abuse them that burned down their stuff. It's just the news really does have people like champion the ones committing the crimes in some of these cases. And I really hope we don't see that again, where white supremacy and related gangs break out in Minneapolis and the news keeps telling the world that it's for the good of the local black population, because that was bad.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like we're going to be back at it again, just, a few months, like, where we were last year when George Floyd died. I feel like we're going to be back at that same situation again here very, very soon. But at the same time, it's like, there are so many new groups. There are so many new organizations that have come together that I don't even know. Like, if somebody goes out there, I feel like okay, so like what happened on the 6th, right? The thing that happened, right? Don't you think that some people would have learned from that lesson of like, hey, maybe that's not a great idea. Maybe that's not the best idea to do something like that, right? But no, it's going to make people do more crazy stuff. So regardless of this verdict, whether it is guilty or not guilty, the streets are going to be bloody. I'll say it. The streets are going to be bloody. We already have people that are doing mass shootings. We already have people that are out here doing crazy stuff. Who's to say that somebody isn't going to do something like that the day of because they're not happy with the verdict? Forget Antifa, BLM, white supremacist groups, etc. Forget all that stuff. We lost David somehow. Forget all that stuff. Imagine you're just out there rejoicing. Let's just say it says not guilty. Let's just say that. You don't think that somebody's going to be out there in the streets just, shooting up, losing their damn minds? Just because they didn't like the result? I'm just saying, we have got to be very, very safe. Because one thing that I found recently to be very messed up is that we have seen since, and I covered it on the show, we saw it since Christmas. There was a Christmas bombing, remember? Then a few weeks later, we had the 6th. Then a couple, you know what I mean? Then now recently we've been seeing a lot of people getting a lot of mass shootings. Now that's becoming a thing. Like I said, who's to say, man, that kind of violence, that type of craziness is not going to happen right there the day of, because they weren't happy with the end result. So we gotta have some reminder to ourselves that we have got to be safe out here. We got to be safe out here. Oh, okay. David's internet just completely pooped the bed, but it's okay. And yeah, YouTube channel, that's very, very true. You know, there's a lot of white supremacist groups that are banding together, that have been organizing and all that. I mean, this trial is saying a lot more than just a verdict. You know, it's more than just getting justice for George Floyd. This is more than that. This represents so much more. And some people are getting ready, which is terrifying to think about. But we got to be safe out here, y'all. We have got to be safe. And we got to start thinking smart. Because that's why it's like people want to go up. And I see in the chat, some people want to go up there and be a part of history, you know, witnessing something as big and as monumental as this. But I'll say this. We all need to be safe. And maybe driving up there, maybe you're driving into chaos. You know, just like those people who, hey, there are people who were there on during the speech on the 6th that had no plans on going, had no plans to see anything crazy, right? But then they were a part of something massively ridiculous, massively horrific. They just went there to hear Trump speak. They didn't go there for that. But then all of a sudden they're sucked into this thing. You know? It's insane. So I say, for those of us that are interested in going up there and all that, you know, because a part of me wants to go up there too, just to document and be a part of that, you know, part of the verdict. But then there's the other part of me that goes, well, there might be a guy that drives through and tries to shoot up everybody, regardless of what the verdict is. That dude's just thinking it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Which is terrifying, guys. So, I mean, obviously we still have a few more weeks until until they have an actual verdict. But Sharisa, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. No, I ain't going up there. But that's something that I'm interested in, you know, just keeping an eye on when we get closer to the verdict, and just seeing what the streets are saying. You know what I'm saying? Because the streets, you can always know what's going to go down if you just listen to the streets. So we'll definitely see what's going on with that for sure, you know. But anyway, guys, that's the show today. I really do appreciate all y'all for being on today. You know, today was a tough one because it was getting back into the groove of things. And Lady Justice is out there. Lawrence, I am in Missouri. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where I reside. That's where my show is. That's where this box that I'm sitting in right now is planted. So yeah, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. But Lady Justice, that's good to know too. Maybe you can, I'm saying if everything's safe out there, maybe there's a opportunity to cover it somehow with you out there and all that. But I do appreciate everybody. You guys are all amazing. David, we lost you, but I understand your internet just kind of went kaput there for a second. But hopefully it'll be back up and running by tomorrow, so we should be good to go. All you guys are good. No wedding. No. The wedding will not be in Missouri. I guarantee you that. It'll probably be some destination wedding type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere by a body of water and get married. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Kiki. Yeah, I missed you guys too. It was just a crazy Sunday. Was a very long day. It was really, really great chopping it up with you guys on Saturday. That was really, really amazing. But like I said, and Conservative, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Yep, we actually gonna be. Yeah, I'm actually getting married, y'all. I'm actually getting married. Yeah, I missed all you guys too, but it was really great. Saturday was a really great conversation. There will not be a members only Wednesday this Wednesday because I have to go to a funeral. But I'm going to try to see if I can do it later on in the week. So there will not be a evening show tomorrow. There will not be an evening show at all tomorrow. I will be on tonight at 7. Okay. Sarah, stop it. But I will be on tonight at 7, and I will have my morning show tomorrow morning. There just won't be an evening show because of the ceremonies that I'm attending. But everything will be back up and running just like on Thursday. I'll still have my evening show and my morning show as well. All right. So I'm going to try to figure out how to put in the members only show somewhere. And also, if you haven't done it yet, and you're interested in how can I become a member and all that stuff, please hit that join button. It's only $4.99. It helps me fuel this show, keep things moving in a positive direction. That would really, really be really appreciated. We work really hard out here, so it'd be nice to have something that we can do this. Have something that keeps this train moving. All right. So don't forget to hit that join button. Also, if you haven't, first things first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It would be really, really appreciated. Siri, thank you so much for wishing me strength. This COVID thing is no joke. We have a family friend's father that has lost his life due to complications to COVID. He was a really, really great guy. And COVID is no joke. As much as everybody says, oh, it's not real and blah, blah, blah. It's statistics here, statistics there. It is a real thing. It's crazy how people get sick with this and we lose them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a really sad thing. But like I said, we have to do that tomorrow, and he'll be, of course, he's already missed, but he'll be, of course, greatly missed even more. But yeah, Lax Paint, you can pay me in greasy pennies. That's fine. You can just pay me in greasy pennies. Also, I wanted to say really quick, a huge thank you to all the super chats that came through. I know some of them, I missed a lot of them. There were a couple that popped in, and I didn't get a chance to really say anything because we were in the middle of doing the show. So I wanted to say thank you to some of the super chats. I missed 2 of them. So I just wanted to say thank you to the super chats as well. That really does mean a lot. And I'm sure I'm going to be doing a pop-up video here and there within the next day or two. But I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to chop it up and, of course, open up the phone lines because I miss hearing your voices. So there will be a Speak On It segment tonight. So let's get to talking. Okay, guys? But I got to get going. I love all you guys. Stay safe out there. Stay positive. Have a great wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tonight. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.